Hey everyone, Haley here from The Foiled Plan. Today I am going to be showing you another dollar store DIY. So if you couldn't tell by the title of this video, today we are going to be making this super awesome glitter display shelf. And we're using all products from the dollar store to create this. So first let's go over the things that we're going to need to make this shelf. Alright, so as far as materials go for this project, you're going to need 3 sheets of craft board. It's also called foam board. And the particular size that I found at my dollar store was 20 inches by 30 inches. So if you can't find one that's this size, just adjust your measurements accordingly. You're also going to need tape in the color of your choice. I wanted to keep everything basically white for this project, so I picked up some white duct tape. You'll also need your glitter for size reference, so you know how far apart to have your shelves. So that's it for materials. And then as far as tools go, you'll need a pencil or something similar to mark your sizes, a glue gun with lots of hot glue, an X-Acto knife to cut your craft board, a meter stick for measurements, and then something optional that I like to use is just a scrap piece of wood when I'm cutting something this large. Having a board underneath when I'm making those cuts really helps, and I'm not ruining my workstation. So that's everything that you need to get started on this project. So let's get into it. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is pick the best looking board to be our back piece. That's the part that you're going to see kind of like shining in behind the glitter. So I've chosen my backing piece, and now what I want to do is decide how many shelves I can fit so that my glitter fits perfectly. So I've already done this off camera, but I know that for this piece of craft board, I'm gonna need 5 shelves because these are my tallest glitter bottles from Anti-Tay, and that will just allow me to have enough space in between where I can pull the bottle out. So I'm gonna divide the 30 inches by my 5 bottles, so that's 6 inches. So I know that I'm going to be marking off every 6 inches as I go down the craft board. So the best thing to do when you're measuring something like this is to mark your 6-inch places on both sides and then make your connecting line in between so that you know it's perfectly straight. Now I know sometimes products like this say they're a certain measurement and really they aren't. So I just want to double check to make sure that this is in fact 30 inches, and it is, so that's good. I'm going to turn this around and do the other side. So now I'm going to draw lines connecting them. So the reason I did that was so that I know exactly where I want my shelves to sit. So I'm done with this for now. I'm going to set it aside. And I'm going to take my next piece of foam board. So because I know these boards are all the exact same size, all I'm going to do is measure out 6 shelves that are 3 inches deep, and I will cut those. Now I'm also going to cut 6 1-inch pieces that are the same length, and those are going to be the front of the shelves. Now I'm going to make the measurements for the side pieces. So we take our 3rd piece of foam board, and we're going to use this 30-inch measurement to make the cuts. So we know that the shelves were 3 inches deep, so we're going to make these sections also 3 inches so they match up perfectly. I just want to throw in that I decided kind of last minute to add side pieces to sort of frame the whole thing in. So alongside your 6 shelf front pieces, it's totally optional, but I also cut 2 pieces for the sides that were that 30-inch length and then just 1 inch wide. So again, these are optional, but I did end up cutting them. I changed my mind at the last minute, and that happens sometimes when I'm crafting, so yeah. All right, now that we have all of our measurements on our foam board, craft board, whatever you want to call it, make sure you have something down on your workstation so you're not going to cut right through, because we are ready to make those cuts. So I'm just going to take my meter stick and I'm going to lay it back down on that line. And right now I'm cutting the shelves and shelf fronts. So that's what we're working on first. Just be very careful. You really only have to score it. And then you can do the same line again. And it should come out perfectly. So I'm gonna speed this video up and then I'll be right back once everything is cut. All right, so I'm done cutting everything. So now I am left with 2 pieces that are 30 inches by 3 inches, 6 pieces that are 20 inches by 3 inches. I also cut 2 pieces 30-inch length, 1 inch wide. And then 6 of the shelf fronts that are 20 inches by 1 inch. So now that we have all of the individual pieces, I'm gonna set the shelf fronts off to the side because I'm not going to be using these until kind of at the very end. I'm also done with the X-Acto knife. All I need now is my backing piece of foam board, craft board, whatever you want to call it, and my hot glue gun. So I'm gonna get that plugged in, heated up, and ready to go. So the first thing that I'm going to do is attach the pieces that are 3 inches by 20 inches. Those are going to make my shelves. So it's gonna look a little funky to start, but then once we kind of frame everything in with the long pieces on the side, it's gonna look good. Also, something that I think I should point out is that when you do attach the top and bottom shelves, make sure you're actually putting it right on the foam board, not like on top of it. I don't know if that makes sense. On like this, not like touching the end of it like that. Because if you have it like that, then this shelf is gonna stick out just a little bit less than the rest of the shelves that are sitting on top of the foam board. So keep it all the same right on top. All right, so I'm just going to apply a thin layer of glue to the edge here on the long side. And you kind of have to work quickly because hot glue does dry quickly. All right, and there is one. So let's move on to the next one. Make sure you take off any of the stickers too. It's a good idea too, once you have at least like 2 shelves in, take your glitter and just make sure that it is for sure gonna fit. So you can see there's still like 1 inch above the lid, so I'm gonna be able to take this in and out, no problem. So now we can add the side pieces. Now I just want to show you that how these edges meet up. It's not like a perfect corner, it's sort of like a groove in here, but that's okay because we're just going to use hot glue later on and we're going to fill those places in. All right, so now we have the actual base of our shelving unit. Now we're gonna go in with hot glue and we're gonna fill in and reinforce anywhere you see two pieces of foam board touching each other. We're gonna add lots of hot glue. A little tip for when you're using a glue gun, what you can do so you don't have to worry about running out of a glue stick right in the middle of like a long line is you can take your new glue stick, melt it with the tip of the glue gun, and then attach it to the glue stick that is currently in the glue gun. This is definitely what takes the longest time of the entire project. I'm gonna finish doing all the gluing and then I'll be right back. All right, so now I've got everything hot glued, and I'm not kidding you when I said that is definitely what takes the longest out of this entire project. I am extremely generous when I am applying the hot glue to this just because I want it to be as sturdy as possible. But yeah, so I've got everything hot glued, so now we're gonna move on to the shelf fronts. Okay, so for these shelf pieces, so that they're all nice and shiny and reinforced and strong, I'm going to use this white duct tape. Now this is also optional. You can, if you want to, Mod Podge over top of this and put glitter on it, because I mean it is for glitter, but because I want to keep it as like clean and monochromatic as possible, I want to keep it all white just because I know I'm going to have a lot of different colors of glitters inside. So that's why I'm sticking with white. So this part's really easy to do. All you're going to do is find the end of your duct tape and then lay it with the sticky side up just like this, and then take one of your pieces and you're going to lay it in the very middle of the tape, and you want to leave like an inch on the end so that you can like wrap it around inside. And then once you've got it stuck in the center, all you're gonna do is fold these pieces over, and I like to start in the center and then work my way out to the edge. All right, and this is what you are left with. So I'm gonna do the rest of these and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so I've got my 6 shelf front pieces ready to go. The next part that I'm gonna do can be done lots of different ways. So we have our constructed shelves. Now these shelf fronts, you could put them sort of like in the center. You could do inside and sitting like this. Because I want to hide this like rough edge of the foam, I'm going to have these lined up and they're going to be in front of the shelf like that. So the bottom one I'm going to line up on top and it's just going to be like touching the bottom. And then on this top one, I'm going to line up this edge with the top of it. So I think what I'm going to do is put the long pieces on first. Now again, that step is completely optional. I'm just going to continue talking with these in my hands, but you don't have to do these. You can simply just do the shelf fronts and then be on your way. I'm going to do a bead of glue along here, and then this section right here is where I'm going to attach it, just like that. While I have this first piece on, I'm just gonna add some more glue to reinforce it right away, just because once I get the other pieces on, it's gonna be hard to do that. All right, so I've got the sides and the top all framed in. I'm gonna put the bottom piece on so the perimeter is finished, and then all I have to do is put on the 4 shelf fronts, and those are gonna be centered on the shelves. well, that is our shelf. Now really the only thing that you need to do is go over any spots that you feel like need some more glue, reinforcement, whatever. Go ahead and add some more wherever. And then to hang it up, all you need are some screws, wall anchors, something that's going to be able to support the weight of a shelf and all of your glitter. I have wood paneling where I plan to hang this up, so I'll just use the appropriate supplies to hang it up on that wood paneling. And then wherever you plan to hang yours up, just use the appropriate supplies. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how I made my dollar store DIY glitter shelf organizer. It was a lot of fun to make and I think it really completes the space. Before I was just using like a spice rack and my glitter collection was totally outgrowing the size of that spice rack. So I think this is really gonna work, and then I can always like move bottles closer together when my collection grows even more, because I'm sure it will. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. And if you attempt to make one of these, I would love to see it. So if you happen to be on Instagram or Facebook, make sure you post the picture and tag me so I can see your beautiful creations. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I will see you guys in the next video. That's all I'm gonna say. Bye!